Chapter 839, I shall never forget the death that I owe you. Hello, ahoy mateys, and welcome to the live podcast. Here today with me, your host, Captain Bestbeard, and my first mate, Hippo Man.
Yep.
There it is, the Kraken Man. Alright, so we're here at a very special time at Radcon, coming at you live, looking at you nude. And so the chapter that we're talking about today
is the one that we watched. We watched an anime called One Piece Manga Chapter 839.
that we did.
No, it was that one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I
It was
got it.
chapter 839, the name of which is I shall never forget the debt that I owe you.
Great use of note-taking.
Thank you. Check out this
Remember
notebook.
fucking anything.
This is a Radcon exclusive, this Patreon notebook with One Piece pen.
I need a bit more.
Oh, let's have a toast. We need to have a toast to Radcon. Everyone, to the podcast, the strongest pirate crew in the seven seas. Yahar!
Yahoo!
Ah! Ha ha! Oh, okay. Now we're ready to be real pirates. It's the pirate's life for me.
Just so you know, this episode is a special episode. We're not just talking about the chapter, we're also talking about, we're going to address some criticisms about One Piece in general. That's this time code here. Here.
See you there. Now, to get down to the matter at hand. So today's chapter
That's pretty good.
was excellent. There was a lot of good stuff there. I've got some nuanced points to make about it, but I'm excited to talk about them with you in person. So, the beginning of the chapter was excellent. We see the entire Garma clan together in
Yes.
their Nazi room, which is totally awesome.
Totally a Nazi room.
Yeah, the symbolism was obvious. There was a big eagle. Things were very militaristic. It was rad. And all the kids, the judge, the king man, was up on his throne, and the kids each had numbered seats, because there's Ichi, Ni, San, Yon, and Rei, 0 through 5, 0 through 4, which is awesome. And what else the fuck was I going to say about this shit? Oh, so they're having dinner together, which is very appropriate for a man like Sanji, who's a food man. So they're talking about Niji is talking shit at Sanji about how he's a piece of fucking human garbage and you don't like him anymore.
They used to talk about how they would, like, I wonder how he died. He's probably dead by now in a
We
ditch
used
somewhere.
to laugh about the ways we assumed you died.
They're just pure evil pieces of shit.
Yeah. The Garma really are the Nazis of the One Piece universe.
And it really showed that, like, the whole bit with they're being spoiled and, like, not eating food and being cruel to the person who made the food, like the whole thing. I think that their spoiled bratness might have been, like, integral to Sanji's desire to be a chef. Like, to be, like, something changed, or, like, he just hated them, and because they hated food.
Because if you recall, when we first met Sanji, or during Sanji's flashback, during the Barati arc at the beginning of the series, Sanji clearly stated, like, why would you use the scraps to make food? Like, you have to use the best ingredients, are all that food should be made of,
Yes, what he
which is
just
very
told us
akin with
as
the
a
royal
prince.
mentality, of his family. So his brother Niji, like you were saying, doesn't eat his food, and Sanji's like, Niji, eat your food. And Niji's like, well, I don't want to. His potato shit is gay, and I don't like it anymore. And so Sanji flips his shit, and Niji, in response, calls in the head chef, because he's getting mad about food now, this girl named Cosette, who's a total cutie, who, by the way, had Perona eyes, which I thought was cool.
Oh.
Like the ring, the three concentric rings.
Oh.
Concentric rings. And she's, this little girl walks in, and Niji just, whoom, whips the plate at her head, which was awesome. And Sanji, valiantly saves her and shit. And then the food fell on the floor, and he's eating that food off the floor like a fucking mongoloid. And it was awesome.
And he's making her cry with happiness.
Because he's like, this is so...
I really appreciate your cooking. It's great. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a classic Sanji moment, just like when he gave food to that guy.
It's a little on the nose and a little bit one-dimensional that, like, everything is about food when Sanji's around. But,
well,
it's appropriate.
I think that the fact that stuff is about food... Like I said, like, food may have been an integral part of why he became a chef, like the fact that they hate food. I still think his mother might have had something to do with it. It's true.
We haven't really seen the genesis of, like, the food, spark in Sanji yet. We'll see at some point, I think. Yeah. Like you said, the mother thing could be totally relevant. Now, I also thought it was cool when Niji was going to kick Sanji because he was mad at him, and he kicks at him, and then the wind goes whoosh because it's showing how strong he is. He's a strong boy. I just like that. I like in Shonen when they kick, and then like if I go like whoosh, you'd see like his hair go like whoosh, and then the wind blow like behind his head.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, he did that, and then the whole thing they were talking about how that not only did they have the things on his arm, I don't know whether they had them on his arm at the dinner table.
They must have been there.
I couldn't see them, but yeah,
I forgot to look.
I didn't look, but yeah, they're probably. I assume they were like a cufflink.
These are the bracelets that are gonna blow Sanji's hands off if he runs away. Yeah.
And they not only did they have that, but also they tracked down Red Leg Zeph.
And that's the big thing.
In the Barati restaurant, and they're saying, if you fuck this up, you're dead. Well, no, you're not dead, but he's dead.
Yeah.
So you better not. And it's like,
typical gangster
they're really
move.
Getting the fucking claws in him. Like, he really can't do anything.
So what was cool about that was definitely that it was very smart that Sanji might be willing to die for this shit, but he's probably not going to be willing to let Zeph get killed. And I particularly liked how that one panel showed Monsieur Bon, Baron Tamago. He was the one who delivered not only the wristlets that are specifically tailored for Sanji's weakness of being a chef who values his hands over everything else, but also gave them the information about Zeph. So it was the Big Mom pirates specifically who gave the Germa the tools to force Sanji to go through with the marriage. So even though the Germa is a really powerful organization, the Big Mom pirates are even more so and have an even larger intelligence network. So I'm impressed. I'm already pretty impressed by this.
It's why they want Sanji to marry. They need that power for whatever they're doing.
They need the Germa. And as we see later, the Germa have some pretty good technology up their sleeves.
Pretty fucking sweet technology. They're making clones. They're making many clones of their soldiers. That's why the soldiers, I think, are just so willing to die. Because they don't feel like they have a self. They're just like, I'm a tool in your army.
At the end of the chapter, we see Sanji walks in this room that's full of clones in these like growth chambers, and Sanji is shocked. So Sanji had no idea that this was something that his family was able to do, that the Germa Kingdom was doing. So this must be a new development. Oh wait, no, they said we were never allowed through this door when we were kids. So they'd probably been doing this all along, which is how the Germa had been growing these super willing soldiers. But what I particularly liked about that was how, when I thought back to remember how I was quite emphatic about how, like, holy shit, Judge murdered his own dude, like, he's definitely dead. But if you think about it, a clone bred for servitude to a royal family, like, sort of has less importance as a human being, like, it's more expendable as, like, a pawn. So, like, as readers, we don't need to feel as bad.
Well,
I don't know if Oda was going for that.
I mean, the whole thing of, that is like a whole big debate. Like, are clones people? Are they real? Can you think of them as human beings?
Are they real? They're real in this, but are they humans?
Do their lives matter? Because, like,
clone lives matter. Hashtag.
But one thing I was gonna say is that the fact that Sanji has that Sanji's family, that they got all these things on him, like his hands, they're really important. He won't like try to escape until those are off.
Right.
And then he will try to escape. But now that they've got this thing on Zeph, he doesn't know whether they have an assassin waiting to kill him.
Yep.
So he doesn't. I don't know whether he'd be so happy to see Luffy try and take him away so soon, because he's like, no, you don't understand. They're gonna kill Zeph once they find out that
they're kind of setting up theoretically for a Luffy-Sanji confrontation if it comes down to it,
could be like, he's like, no, and no. Here's why.
Possible. My personal... were you going to explain?
Well, it's like it's parallels to the whole Nico Robin Water 7 arc, where she's like, no, I'm going, they're taking me and there's nothing you can do about it. And
yeah. Though that was only about her one life, but nonetheless. Oh no, it was to protect them. It was to protect the Straw Hats, that's right.
Yeah, that's why
Which is why she's the greatest hero who ever lived.
Yes.
My actual personal guess how that's going to go is that Sanji will at some point say that, you know what, I understand your threat to Zeph, but he's a real pirate boy. He can take care of himself. I don't care if you're sending your best assassins. He is red leg Zeph, motherfucker. He can handle his own life. He wouldn't want me to protect him from shit. He'd want me to live my own life free, like a pirate like he was. He'd want me to be a real man.
He did seem very shocked, though. Like, he did seem very scared when they said that...
That's true.
Because, like, Zeph, he's an old man. He's not even that
Remember when
strong.
he stopped, like, 1,000 bullets at once with his peg leg? I remember that.
That was pretty cool. But,
that was
like,
awesome.
There's probably guys in Big Mom's crew that could kill him. So, it's like, and he knows that, so...
I think it's less about protecting Zeph's... Okay, this is just one way it might go. That I think it's possible that Sanji will say, you know what? He'll be like Luffy for a little bit and say, the pirate's life is about being free. If people die on your quest to live free, you know, as long as they're content that everyone was living the life they wanted to, sometimes that's the cost you gotta pay. We'll see if that actually happens, though. But we skipped over a little bit, which was just Sanji finds Cosette. Oh, and by the way, the head chef girl named Cosette... Cosette is a French name, and as every big One Piece fan should know, Sanji has been said by Oda, all the Straw Hat crew have a theoretical real-world country of origin. Sanji's is French, and Germa, I think, is a French word for something, and Cosette is a French name. So all these French themes are there. And, seems cool. Anyway, Cosette got the shit beat out of her for talking trash.
Shit. Yeah. Which is interesting, because, like... women being beaten the fuck out of...
It, like, never happens in One Piece.
It never happens. Like, if they're a pretty woman, they don't get beat to a pulp the same way the men do. But in this situation, she was literally just, like, bloody and bruises and black eyes.
She got fucked up.
Big, teeth missing, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
And, and it was all because she had the audacity... Or Sanji, really, stuck up for her.
Yeah, Sanji saved her.
They were just trying to prove a point to Sanji, really.
Yeah, that you have no power, and just do what we say, or everything you love will die.
You know what that was?
And we're evil, and we're the fucking Nazi regime.
They're sending a message about what they'll do to Zeph, if you don't listen. This is like the small example of what's going to happen to Zeph.
Yeah.
If it don't happen, Because he's just a little pirate boy. He's not a royal, I guess. He's not a cool dude. He's a shit guy.
I am interested in knowing what their plan is, because they said they had a plan, like they were building towards, and
The Germa?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Getting with Big Mom, getting all the ties and their ally stuff is part of their plan. They got all this silence. I'm wondering if Vegapunk was from Germa Kingdom. It could be possible.
We know where he's from. He's from that snow island, remember? That's Frankie spent his 2 years on?
Oh, yes. So he might have gone to Germa Kingdom also. They
have advanced technology. I would bet that they could have, like, contracted Vegapunk for some time, maybe, to build some of this stuff.
Although maybe the idea that Vegapunk is like the only super scientist is a bit OP.
Yeah, there's Caesar Clown. There's probably others too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But they've got big scientists doing big things, making clones. I wonder if his mother found out and she didn't like it, and that's why she got beat up or something.
It's possible. And by the way, one particularly... It wasn't a problem, per se, but there was one thing about this chapter that kind of bothered me, and it might prove not to be a big deal at all in the long run, but it was... So, remember when Sanji fought Khalifa long ago, and in Water 7?
He couldn't hit a woman.
Right, he couldn't hit a woman, and she specifically asked, I looked this up, like, why won't you attack women? Or something along those lines. And Sanji specifically responded, because that's how I was raised. Because I was brought up to not hit women. And this chapter, we see a little bit of a flashback to, Sanji being raised by Zeph. And it's really implied in this chapter that Zeph is the one who raised Sanji, who made him the man he is, made him a good person, etc., etc. But there was a couple things that were revealed in there, and I really got the impression that what it was implying was that Sanji just inherently loved women like crazy. Like that was just something about him. Like none of his family seemed to share that trait. It's just something about him, and
I don't think that was what you're implying. That it's like.
Well, that's just the
like
first part.
He just loves women the whole time, and because there's that one panel of him with heart eyes looking at a beautiful woman. I think that might have just been because of the other chefs on that thing. That
What do you mean?
Like he picking up like things about, like, oh, look at her with the tits or something. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess those are cool. Like they're basically pirates.
Yeah, they're pirates.
It makes sense that he would pick up stuff like that. I don't know whether
okay,
it
all right.
implies that he was always like that.
That's not even the real point. The real point is the whole chivalry thing, which to an extreme degree that Sanji does. That was what he really said to Khalifa. I was raised to never hit a woman, and yet we really didn't. I didn't get the impression that was really an important thing to Zeph or anyone else who was there, or certainly not his family. So. From whom did he learn the chivalry thing? Because this feels wrong. Something feels off.
I think it must have been Zeph. Like
our pirate crew is being really rowdy over.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really getting the impression that this is just it's turtles all the way down with Sanji's chivalry. There is no origin of why he's so defensive of women, and that's a huge problem. I'd been wondering for thousands and billions of years why Sanji was so defensive of women all the time, and it appears there is no reason. I'm getting a little freaked out.
I don't think this is that one panel could be. Or whatever.
It's only the first step. It's true. It hasn't proved it conclusively.
It feels like just a throwaway panel to show that he's, it's just a funny little comedy thing. Like, fuck you, kid.
But it's just knowing. Okay, we know Sanji did not learn that from Garma Kingdom. There's no way he learned it there.
Well, he might have learned it from his mother.
You're right. The one thing that remains.
When we find out about his mother, then we'll know, and we'll be able to say whether this was all.
Maybe Sanji was a clone, along with all his family.
Well, that would be a pretty interesting twist.
That would be interesting. I hope that's true.
Maybe Duval was his twin. Was the prince.
Yeah, maybe. I hope that turns out to be true. Maybe he's like a defective clone or something. Oh man, wouldn't that be weird if Sanji was a defective fucking clone?
Oh, whoa,
what the fuck? All along?
The king's sons are like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, just like numbered clones or whatever.
Clones of himself, like clone 1, 2, and then the third one was fucked up, didn't work.
Yep.
It had humanity. It wasn't an evil piece of shit. So then you got to get rid of it, but then you brought him back to marry some fucking cutie pie. Yeah, it's kind of like it's sort of like in episode 2 or whatever of the Star Wars prequels when Jango Fett had Boba Fett, who was like an identical clone. Like there's all the shit soldiers who just die for him, but then there's like the good clone, like the one that's like his quote unquote son. So I don't know, maybe it's something like that. Like this is his legacy. These super clones. But yeah, what was it? Was he like? I forget. Was the dad like really interested in
Judge? Yeah.
Interested in family and stuff.
Well, he cares about his legacy a lot. Yeah.
Like, could it be that he's so concerned about his legacy that he had science so that he didn't trust a woman's... maybe he doesn't even have a mother.
Maybe, that's what I'm saying. Maybe there is no mother.
Maybe it's entirely just science.
And maybe that's why we haven't seen her or heard any discussion of a mother up to this point.
Holy shit.
And by the way...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It could turn out to be that way. Yeah. That'd be freaky.
What else happened in the chapter?
And by the way, along those lines that could maybe help this theory along, they're on the wall of, I think, the judge's room of, Judge Vinsmoke. There is a giant portrait of, like, the founder of the Vinsmoke family who looks exactly like Vinsmoke Judge in every way, exactly like him.
Oh.
So, and by the way... Remember how I said before that Sanji's swirlies go the opposite way from the rest of his family?
Oh, that's true.
What if he's a defective clone and he's like backwards, man?
Shit!
Could we have just cracked the code as to what's going on in this fucking arc?
If we're right, that's the coolest.
Oh my god. I hope that's true.
The backwards swirly eyes is the clue.
You know what? Okay, as cool as that theory is, it still would not explain why he loves cooking so much, which he learned before he met Zeph, and where he learned the chivalry. Those remain to be seen. I'm waiting. Oda needs to confirm those, or I will be really, really mad and really pissed off.
I won't be mad. I think it's fine.
You're too forgiving. You're too forgiving.
No, but I don't think that it was implied that he is entirely devoted to cooking so much that...
Well, he is now.
Like, maybe his defectiveness was like he cared about human beings instead of his evil brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they had servants and they work hard and he's like, oh, I want to be like them. You know, it's just a random thing, like he sees a chef or a cook or something. He's like, oh, thank you. I'd like to learn how to do that. And it's just a natural thing, like it just comes from being nice.
Right, I'll give you that. It does seem, if we didn't know any of this backstory about Sanji and just knew that all we knew before this arc, that he was, you know, a little like helper cook on a ship and then met Zeph and then became a chef, I would say that it's entirely possible that he just kind of fumbled his way into the chef role. But because this arc went out of its way to show that Sanji, like when he was a kid, like he cooked cakes for rats or something? Like he cooked shit for rats, whatever that means.
I think it meant
like
just peasants or
that could be one of two
soldiers.
things. All right, maybe. But that means one of two things. Either Sanji got like indoctrinated to love cooking before he left the Vinsmoke, before he left Camera 66, or it means that Oda is a hack who just, now that we know Sanji loves cooking, is adding these extra details of like, look at him, he was a cook even back in the day, it was in his genes all along, which would be bad writing and would be dumb. I hope that that's not the case.
Well, maybe the idea is that the Vinsmokes are all terrible at cooking, which is why they have servants, and the opposite of that is to be really good at cooking.
And he's opposite.
Yeah.
He is opposite. He's got opposite eyebrows.
They're all jealous about how he can make scrambled eggs. You piece of shit will beat you up forever until you die.
I agree.
And then he ran away.
I hope that turns out to be true. Was there anything else relevant in this chapter? I think that was about it.
Yeah, but you did want to talk about something else.
Yes, there's another major topic that I wanted to bring up while we were here today. So, recently, a couple of arguments were brought to our attention, and these are actually things that I've heard over many years of being a fan of One Piece. And so now, while we're doing a live podcast, it seemed like the appropriate time to address these kind of long-running criticisms of One Piece. So let's take a little bit.
He's mostly going to do the refuting, because I don't actually know.
Okay, if you have anything to add,
I'll add
feel
things.
free. I kind of broke it down into individual like criticisms of One Piece that are commonly made.
Yeah.
And we can address them, piecemeal, and you can chime in whenever you like. So this is kind of a combination. There was a guy who messaged me on Twitter who said, please watch this video. And then I didn't watch it at first, and you watched it.
Yeah.
And we went on, the two of us, before I watched it, to kind of just argue about some of the stuff that was brought up. And he was like, can you explain this, why this is bad, why I don't like this, how this isn't bad. And then I went and watched the video. So I'm kind of mixing between the two. So to you two guys, this is neither of you verbatim, but these are just a mixture of criticism that I've heard all over the place. So the first one, and this is the stupidest one by far. Well, they're all horrendously stupid. That One Piece was made longer only due to popularity. And already, asking that question shows so much ignorance about not only what the series of One Piece, because if you read it, you would never ask that question. And two, the nature of shonen manga.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Specifically reading, because, the manga is good.
Right.
Everybody complains that the anime is, badly paced, or it's, got terrible animation, or some stuff is wrong with it. The best thing about the anime is the music.
That's true. That's true.
Most of the rest of it is, kind of terrible. So if you're complaining about the way it's paced and the animation, I agree. We probably both agree.
To clarify that, before I've said that the anime's shit, the manga's good, and the manga is definitely better and worth chapter for chapter more worth your time. But the anime is good up to Marineford. I've done the research. Past Thriller Bark, it's good.
I watched all the way up to and including I think Marineford.
Yeah.
And yeah, the animation starts to go a bit weird at Shabodi Archipelago. Yeah. Where I think they changed animation. They outsourced
something happened. Something happened.
Yeah. They changed the way a lot of characters looked.
Thriller Bark was great. Thriller Bark was
amazing. Yeah. But yeah, overall the manga is better. The anime is okay, and then it gets worse.
If you just watch the anime up through Bink Sake. You've made it. You've crossed the finish line as far as I'm concerned through the anime. That's what you need to see if you like One Piece. You need to see Bink Sake.
Which is it's a couple hundred episodes, but it's...
a good 300 or 400, probably.
Yeah, but it's still good.
If you've made it that far, you're enjoying One Piece anyway, so whatever. So, okay, the actual criticism that One Piece is made longer, I'm going to assume he means like padded out longer than it needs to be, due to popularity. So, okay. So, first of all, the thing about every shonen manga, which is what One Piece is that they are built from the ground up to be as long as possible, to remain continuously serialized as long as they physically can. And the thing is, there are lots of series, especially like shonen fighting series, that are built in such a way that they can kind of just add a new arc, add new enemies, and keep going for a very long time. And a lot of people would like to say that something like Dragon Ball Z, you know, like the power levels escalate and things eventually kind of get worse. Things get muddied or they get watered down over time, and it pollutes kind of the core beauty of what the original was. The thing is, One Piece, and you know what? I can see why people on their initial reaction would say something like that about One Piece. But the thing is, One Piece is the absolute perfect series for this structure. It is the best way that there's ever been to justify the existence of the shonen manga format.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I would say about the way it does is usually if you compare it to other shonen mangas, they do one thing at a time. Like there's a bunch of enemies and your heroes, they fight them, and the main character beats the last bad guy, and he just manages to beat him, and then he's like, oh, I gotta get stronger. So they have a training arc, and then there's a new bunch of bad guys, and they've just managed to beat them. This is Fairy Tail, basically.
Yeah.
They just managed to beat the last guy, and then it's like, oh, we better train, and then they train. And then there's a bunch of new guys, and it's like, oh, we just beat them, and we gotta train again. It's like, you know, it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
If you barely pay attention to One Piece, it looks like that.
Fairy Tail is what One Piece is to... Fairy Tail is the series idiots think One Piece is. It's all the problems these people are talking about that One Piece doesn't have.
Yeah. But One Piece, they would have things... I mean, there are like they go from one place to the other, one island to the other, and there's a bunch of new bad guys introduced. But it's just the creaking of the ship.
Yeah.
It wasn't a green screen. There's a bunch of bad guys introduced, but things from before still stay relevant and then come back later.
Right.
And it's like everything that's introduced isn't a throwaway thing. You know, it's not like the character sticks around, because that would also be annoying if there's just constantly new characters that constantly stay relevant.
And you're kind of bringing up arguments about another one of the criticisms that I'll just read now so that they know what it is. And it's these kind of two things are related. It's that One Piece, all the arcs are the same, or like all the arcs are repetitive, or that it's a repetitive series in structure.
It's only repetitive in that the guys go to a new island, they find new stuff, they beat a bad guy. I mean, sometimes they don't even do that, but...
Yeah, they didn't do that in Zou. They didn't fight shit. I mean, all the action happened before they got there. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was...
Excuse me, I'm a pirate. What can I say?
Excuse me.
I meant, yar! Fuck all of y'all. So, right, okay.
I need to clear my throat with alcohol.
Yeah, good idea. So, the thing about arcs, people always bring up, all the time, how One Piece's arc structure is, I don't know, lazy or poorly done in some way. Repetitive is what they say. And they obviously aren't understanding the way that One Piece works. Because like you were saying, One Piece functions in two dimensions at the same time. There's the current arc, and then there's the longer running story. And both are important to keep in mind all at the same time when you're reading One Piece. So, okay.
It's kind of like a really good wrestling saga, if you know about wrestling. Because it's like, each arc is the same. A guy fights another guy, you know. It's on the very basic level. Of course, it's a shonen manga. There's going to be fighting. There's going to be new guys that you're fighting. But like over the course, there's like character development and arcs and different things that happen. It's like a tree. It's like a waving tree.
Branches of a mighty, beautiful oak.
It's more than it appears at first glance. And if you first glance at it, I can get why you would think like, it's just a piece of shit. But it's not. and it's hard to explain why without saying watch it or read it. Rather.
Well, and this ties into this argument brings me to by far the most offensive thing, specifically from the video, and it was this line here: the Skypiea arc. Fuck what? The Skypiea arc could be removed, and you'd lose nothing from the story. Now, what you've just done, Mr. Video Maker, is reveal yourself to be the most ignorant One Piece viewer I've ever had the displeasure of conversing with. Because you don't understand anything about One Piece if you're going to make a claim like that. Because, like I was saying before, One Piece works in 2 dimensions at the same time. And you can even forget that. Well, ask yourself, what is the spirit of One Piece? What is One Piece trying to accomplish in itself? And this is the answer to all these complaints about One Piece. You can hear it in the 3rd opening of One Piece, when Gold Roger himself gives the speech. What does it say? Adventure, the world, seek out your dreams. Go forth on the seas and find the adventure that you're searching for. It's just a speech about how what you are supposed to do. And it says, like, disregard, don't worry about death, tomorrow, whatever comes, just have your adventure, live your life.
Just do it!
Just do it! Just do it! That's really what One Piece is about. Shia nailed it when he made that One Piece analysis video last year or 2 years ago or whatever it was. One Piece is about choosing what you're going to do with your life, ignoring the consequences, and just pursuing your dreams no matter what it costs you. So, and that is why. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the reason people think Skypiea specifically is a piece of wasted time is because it happens far away from the rest of the normal world,
right,
from the Marines and other pirates, and everything they do there. You know, it only affects like a handful of people down below, like the what's his face, the
Mont Blanc Cricket.
Like he gets he sees Luffy
and the
up
Monkey
there,
Boys,
and he hears the ringing the bell, and he's happy, but everyone else,
nobody else cares. Nobody else knows.
The pirate's bounty doesn't go up, you know, and that bounty thing, I think, is the main reason. Like people
are so fucking hung up on bounties in One Piece.
I love the bounties when they increase.
You're part of the problem.
But I love it. But I understand that it doesn't. That's cool.
That's relevant
regardless.
to the world government's perception, and the world government has no fucking business in Skypiea. So yeah.
Well, it's not really that. It's just like I understand that the whole point of Skypiea was that they fucking went to a place that nobody thought they could ever go to, and nobody will ever know that they went there because they're not exactly the bragging type.
And that is
nobody
why
would ever believe them if they did go there. But it doesn't matter. They went there to make some guy happy, and now he's happy, and they know like they in the future they will be the guy in the bar. Like all of them will be able to be the old guy in the bar. Like I went to the fucking sky, kid, and you can go there too. They could be. I mean, Blackbeard had that speech, didn't he?
Blackbeard. Okay.
They could be that guy, kind of.
Jaya into Skypiea. The reason why it is worth including in One Piece, why it wouldn't be just as good of a series if Skypiea was removed, is because Skypiea is, without a doubt, the purest vision of what One Piece was intended to be from the very start. A pirate crew sailing around the world, deciding an adventure they wanted to go on, doing what it took to make it happen, and then having the best fucking time of their lives while doing so. And, by the way, at the end of the arc, learning things relevant to the overall story, because what happened at the end of Skypiea? They found out that Gold Roger not only went to Skypiea as well, they're following in the footsteps of Gold Roger, and he fucking knew how to write poneglyph language, something that doesn't even make sense, because only the O'Hara scholars should have known. That's why Nico Robin was so fucking mind-blown when you saw his writing on the poneglyph in the sky, and you're a fucking idiot for thinking that it didn't matter, and I want you dead and your whole family dead, because you're a problem for the world, and you're spreading this bullshit about One Piece. Get the fuck out of my house!
Also, when he punched Bellamy, like...
Yes,
that was the coolest punch.
The Bellamy punch was the coolest thing that ever happened in One Piece, because... And that has everything to do with Blackbeard, as well as Bellamy, and the diametric opposites that they represent, which, by the way, ties into Doflamingo, because Bellamy was sort of a sub-crew of Doflamingo's crew. It's because Bellamy represented fucking assholes who didn't care about dreams. Blackbeard and Luffy represent, like, dreamers and Oda. and people who, you know, believe in fucking pulling yourself up by your bootstraps to go do things that people doubt that you can do. And they fucking did it, man. And that's why it's so great. And that's why Blackbeard's speech, "The age of dreams will never die!" Look at my beard. I'm Bestbeard. I'm Blackbeard. He is me. I believe in dreams. You believe in dreams. We all believe in dreams. Why don't you believe in dreams, Mr. Video Maker? Why won't you love dreams?
Don't let your dreams be memes. You can do it.
All right. I hope that was clear enough. I hope that was an understandable reason. The point is, Skypiea represents what One Piece is about. It does it great, and we already answered the other question. So whatever. If you can get that far in One Piece and not understand it, you're probably just a child. You probably either are a child or have the mentality of a child, and you're not mature enough to appreciate what One Piece is trying to accomplish. And that's not really intended to be an insult, because I consider myself among that number until I was around 20, to be honest. Yeah. So, you know, I would really recommend taking some time, reread One Piece from the start through Skypiea. And in fact, watch the anime. At least some of the openings, because the openings really
the
encapsulate.
Openings are great.
The openings are fantastic up until they went to shit.
You should watch up to, if you're like don't like it at all, but you should try and watch up to at least the end of Arlong Park, because you know that is like when I realized that it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
When he comes out from, well, I won't spoil it, but like the way he does all that cool shit.
Yeah. And you know what I know he's gonna say, because he made clear that we would know this. It's just the anime. I'm only talking about the anime. Well, the anime was fucking great up until episode like 500. So fuck off. That's a retarded argument.
Yeah.
But you know, okay. I shouldn't say that, because it's not like he watched both, decided just to talk about the anime. I'm sure he hasn't read the manga. Read the manga, dude. Read the manga. Everyone should read the manga.
It's a suggestion. Really, if you're determined to hate One Piece, you're gonna hate it. But
yeah, it's not for everybody. If you don't love adventures about following your dreams, you're not gonna like One Piece. You know, if you sit around all day and you're like, I wish I was at work right now, punching the fucking clock. You know, that's all I want to do with my life.
It's not about that. What I'm saying is, like, I understand if people don't want to try getting into One Piece. It is
what?
Green.
Green?
I'm gonna get the fucking green. I mean, the sea.
Right. Never. Okay.
The sea behind us.
I had a premonition just now. Never mind.
No, but the point is, if you have doubts about One Piece, we're not trying to insult you and say you're stupid. Mm-hmm. We're trying to convince you that it's cool. And if we haven't done that, then that's our fault.
And One Piece, like every show, is to be enjoyed from a certain perspective. Not every show's for everybody. We like One Piece because we're cool people. If you're not a cool person, then, you know, I understand. This one's for you, buddy.
So yeah, that's basically all we had to say about...
And,
very well done.
Yeah, thank you. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again on the high seas. Bye! Oh, I forgot to show him my shoes. We have to do it again.